stand in New York at lunchtime, and nearly everything around you, your salad, your sandwich, your coffee, came from hundreds or thousands of miles away. Stand in Tokyo and watch refrigerated trucks restock entire neighborhoods before sunrise. Walk through Istanbul's Grand Bazaar and realize most of that food is passing through, not grown anywhere nearby. Now imagine a city of 40 to 60,000 people in the middle of the lowland jungle. No trucks, no refrigeration, no fossil fuels, and the central market is still reliably full every single day. That was the Maya. Mayan food markets were not informal or primitive. They were structured systems built to feed dense urban populations under strict ecological limits. Cities like Tikal, Calakmul, and Chichen Itza functioned more like modern metropolitan areas than villages, and their survival depended on markets that worked consistently, not occasionally. The system started long before the market itself. The Maya didn't farm fields. They managed landscapes. Forests were shaped to produce food year after year. Maize, beans, and squash were grown together because the biology stabilized yields. Corn provided structure, beans replenished nitrogen, squash protected soil moisture. This reduced crop failure and eliminated the need to replace exhausted land. That ecological stability is what made the markets possible. Food supply wasn't maximized for profit, it was optimized for reliability. Modern agriculture chases yield per acre. The Maya chased yield per ecosystem over decades. From those managed landscapes, food moved into centralized markets that functioned as real economic hubs. These weren't social gatherings. They were where prices were discovered, shortages were felt immediately, and surplus was corrected in real time. Farmers and traders negotiated face-to-face. Value was visible, not abstracted. Cacao beans were currency. Salt was a strategic resource. Maize was the caloric backbone of the economy. When maize supply tightened, labor patterns shifted. When cacao flowed, trade expanded. These markets didn't just distribute food, they regulated the entire economy. The other thing that made Mayan food markets so resilient was how strangely diverse their diets were by modern standards. This wasn't a system built on a few staple crops with everything else as decoration. It was a web of foods pulled from forests, wetlands, fields, and coasts. Alongside maize and beans, people ate iguana, freshwater snails, insects like roasted grasshoppers, sting. What's striking is how little central control was required. No bureaucracy telling farmers what to grow, no subsidies forcing overproduction. The system worked because incentives were aligned with survival. If you degraded the land, you destroyed your future supply and your standing in the market. Compare that to modern food economics. In the United States, corn is grown not because people need more corn, but because subsidies make it profitable to overproduce. Prices don't reflect scarcity, they reflect policy. Environmental costs are externalized, not priced in. Mayan markets couldn't externalize damage. Soil depletion, water loss, or crop failure showed up immediately in the market. That feedback loop forced sustainable behavior without ideology or regulation. Another critical feature was specialization. Different regions focused on different goods: cacao in some areas, salt in others, chili peppers, honey, fish, obsidian tools. These weren't luxury products. They were nutritional and economic necessities that moved through the market system efficiently. This specialization made the economy resilient. A failed maize harvest didn't collapse the entire system because trade networks redistributed risk. Modern supply chains aim for efficiency. The Mayan system prioritized redundancy. It's also worth noting what the markets were not. They weren't anonymous. Producers and consumers knew each other. Trust mattered. Reputation mattered. You couldn't flood the market with low-quality food and disappear behind a brand name. Modern markets trade volume. Mayan markets traded accountability.